Call this meeting to order, and if you're able, please stand. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here tonight, and looks like we have got a good crowd tonight. We're pleased with that, and with that, we're going to ask our Mayor Pro-Tem, Buddy Fowler, if he'll lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to see all of you here tonight. If you would bow your heads, please. Our Father, we're thankful to be able together. Thank you for all the resources and all the beauty you brought into our lives. Father, we thank you for many blessings you brought into our lives. We ask you to be with us as we make our decisions tonight. Be with all of us as we go our ways. Be with their families. Lift us up and mend us and heal us, oh Father. We ask all these things in your most precious name. Amen.
Thank you, buddy. And ask Councilman Don Helms if he'll lead us in our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. I'd like to vary from the agenda just a little bit at this time. If I could get all of our firemen, policemen, and EMS, if they're here, to come forward, please. I might get a little emotional. Sorry about that. I'll be fair with you. If you had been there Sunday night when these gentlemen was putting their lives on the line to fight those fires, they were doing an amazing job. They didn't hold out whatsoever. I saw them when they came back to change their tanks, and I'm going to tell you, I told some of them, I said, I know that's going to make an old man out of you fast, the way you are going. But, I mean, they were soaked, they were drenched, everything they had on was heavy. I picked up his coat. I don't even know how he wears the I couldn't even hardly pick the coat up, more especially wear it. So, anyway, I know you gentlemen, everybody knows what the firemen go in there and face. And I'm sure some of you saw the plume that came up when the first one tank exploded. I think there was two of them like that. I mean, we were just, by the grace of God, nobody got hurt. And I think his hand was on it. But I know every one of us want to tell them how much we appreciate. Of course, now this is just a very small number of them. There was a large number. I think every Surf City fireman in the area was there. And we would like to thank Topsail Beach. Their fire department came as well. And also Pender East from the Hampstead department. They came as well. So, I mean, they did have some help there, but they did a fantastic job. Of course, the police were there the whole time as well. They were helping, in other words, look after them and make sure they could get what they could get and make sure all the equipment could get in. And, I don't think they could have stacked another truck in there anyway, because they had them stacked from the fire all the way out to the highway. So, and a lot of line. I left so I didn't have to help roll up the line. I appreciate them rolling up all that line, because I know that was a big work. But anyway, I'm going to ask the chief if he's got something he would like to say, and go right ahead.
I'm going to use the microphone. So
you go right ahead so they can hear you.
All right. Can y'all hear me? You got me, Jason? All right. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that Surf City Fire Department didn't do this alone. For one, we have career firefighters here in Surf City. They're the best in the business. We also have part-time firefighters. We also have volunteers. Some of our volunteers are here as well. So our career guys showed up because that was their duty, that was their job. But our volunteers and our part-timers, even some of our career guys came in on their day off. I bet we probably had 90% of our staff there. But understand, we didn't do it alone. Surf City PD helped a lot. We also had Pender EMS and Fire. We had Topsail Beach. We had North Topsail Beach. We also had New Hanover County Fire come in and help cover the areas that were left vacant because all of those apparatus were there. This was a unique situation for us, a limited access, wind-driven fire. A fire like this in a larger city like Winston-Salem, I know that because I'm there, I was there. Raleigh, Greensboro, Charlotte, a fire like this would have had upwards to 100 to 125, 150 firefighters. We dealt with this with about 40 to 45. So understand that we did a lot of work. These guys did a lot of work with very limited manpower. They were facing a lot of challenges to get rid of this fire. I want to recognize newly promoted Captain Jones, and there's Captain Hall. These were our first two arriving officers. We're lucky that today is the shift that was working Sunday. Firefighter Hoffer and Captain Jones, were the first to arrive. They were the first truck there. These individuals are the ones that laid the groundwork to allow us to take action, to act swiftly. They were faced with impossible situation that they acted quickly, decisively, and enabled us to achieve our goal of suppressing this fire without any injuries. So understand that I want to recognize those three that are here tonight. Everybody that was here were there, but they're the initial arriving companies. They're the ones that were facing that first with only 6 people. There was only 6 people there to start with. And those 6 people were the ones that laid the groundwork to allow success. So those are the ones that I want to recognize. Thank you.
Chief, I got a question for you because I know all of us have had calls, and you can probably answer it very quick because we probably don't know, but as far as the cause of the fire, explain the process on that.
So again, we brought in a lot of people to help us. We have fire investigation through our department, through our fire marshal. We utilized the Pender County Fire Marshal. We also called in the fire investigative team from the Department of Insurance, the State Department of Insurance, and the State Fire Marshal's Office. We called in the SBI as well as ATF to help us with this investigation. As of right now, the cause of the fire is labeled as undetermined. They cannot rule out a lot of different possible causes. So unfortunately, the cause is undetermined. The case is open just in case some new information comes to light, but for now, the cause is listed as undetermined.
Thank you, sir. Okay, will you gentlemen take a bow? And once again, we appreciate all of you to come up here. But now there is, for everybody at the front of the scene, there's always somebody behind the scene. And behind the scene was our utility people. If they had not been able to get the water to them, they would not have been able to fight the fire. So we want to thank the utility system and for all the work that they did keeping the water going to them so that they could fight the fire. In fact, I had one from Topsail Beach, I was telling them, they said, I don't know how in the world you had enough water to fight that fire, but we did. I mean, they kept it coming, didn't they? So, once again, we appreciate that. But we thank all of all of these people, the fire department and the police department are putting their lives on the line every time they go out to do their job. So we do appreciate that. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, while we're still in that mode, I'd like to read the names of the people that lost their homes. And if there's any of them here, I'd appreciate if they'd stand up. Catherine Lucas, and that was 151 Axon Road. Milton Petty from 155 Axon Road. Gregory Colner from 159 Axon Road. Douglas Miskew from 163 Axon Road. Chester Miller, 153 Axon Road. Joseph Gonzalez, 157 Axon Road. And the home that was full-time residency. And like I've said before, anytime you lose a home, and even if it is a second home, it's bad enough. And it may be something that you have worked forward to and worked for all your life, was to get that second home to where you could enjoy your retirement or your family could. And so it's bad enough to lose that. But then Matthew Scheffelbein and his family, they have 3 boys. And so they have lost their home. And of course, when it's your permanent home, you have everything that you own basically in that home. And so they did lose just about everything they had. The fire department did manage to salvage 2 boxes of pictures. Now they are burnt around the outside, but hopefully they can salvage some of them where they were stacked together. And they had one there of their son when he was a little boy, and that was amazing to see. But so they were able to salvage that much out of it. But it's hard to lose. But they are receiving some help. The Kiwanis came in and they donated $200 per son, and then other people called and wanted to know how they could help. So I talked to a couple of our pastors at the church, and so if you want to, you can contact Faith Harbor. We can get you some numbers, and if you want to help those families, then the money will go to the church and then go straight to them. So it's not going through something that is going to have a handling charge to it. Every dollar that is donated will go strictly to the family, and that's what we like about it. Just like Paddle for the Truth, when you donate something there, it's going to be, that it's all going to be used for the families or the people. So that's what we're doing there. So anyway, that would be much appreciated. And I'm sure most of you know them, because they're in business here. His wife has a business and decorating business, and I'm not sure, what does Matthew do? I'm not sure, but anyway, like I say, they're from this area. Their kid went to Topsail, so they are local people. And Teresa came up with this idea. What we're going to do is plant a flower for each one of the homes. They'll be planted somewhere, Chad, I guess around in this area here, right? Around, yeah. So, we're not forgetting them. We are doing it. Okay, now we're to Beautification and Appearance Committee Awards. I know, Jim, are you here, Jim? No, right there on the front. I don't know how I missed you. Jim asked that we postpone this. And of course, I polled the council. And then also I talked to a couple of the homeowners, and then I did talk to Matthew and his wife today about it. And they said, absolutely, do not postpone it. They said that was part of the things that they loved about Surf City. So they asked us if we would to just continue with it and go ahead and present these certifications. I know you had it was in your heart. I know where you were coming from, Jim, and I was in agreement with you to start with, and then I got to talking with them, and they said absolutely not. So, yeah, so like I say, I mean, I know. And so at this time, I would love to, if anybody that is here in the, let's see, when was the first run? Okay, in the Gino family, 473 Lansdowne Circle. Is anybody here with that family? Or that house? Okay. How about Thomas or Janice Patterson? Yes, ma'am. Come right on up front. I am told that you're the one that does all the hard work out there anyway.
My husband pays for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he does the pay and you do the work.
Right,
Okay, well, that sounds like a good job. In fact, that sounds like the way I would probably do it. So anyway, but I'm going to read this for you. In certificate of no, I tell you what, I'm going to let Jim, since he's chairman, come up and read this for and present that.
This is Certificate of Recognition for Home of the Month. The certificate is awarded to Thomas and Janice Patterson at 124 Saltwater Landing by the Beautification and Appearance Committee on this day, the 6th of March, 2000. That's wrong, but we'll fix that.
Yeah.
This is for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. In fact, like I said, I was talking to somebody today that lives in there, and they said, Lord knows, said as hard as that woman works, she needs to have an award, I'll tell you. So anyway, we appreciate it. Also, they do the business of the month as well, and we have is anybody here from Topsail Island Trading Company? Yes, there is. The lady herself. Okay, Jim.
This is a certificate of recognition of the business of the month. This certificate is awarded to Topsail Island Trading Company at 201 New River Drive by the Beautification and Appearance Committee. Congratulations. Thank you.
And if you want any good fudge, she's got it, I'll tell you. A lot of other stuff too, but she does have some good fudge. Okay. Now, if you're healthy, is anybody here from the Bumblebee Market? Yes, she is. All right. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, and we'll get this one. Yeah, we'll get DOT right now. Okay, all right. Also, we have a presentation from North Carolina Department of Transportation, so we'll just ask them if they will come forward. A lot of work there, huh?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name is Nazia Sarder, and I'm with NCDOT's Transportation Planning Division. Today, we are here to talk about the Onslow County Comprehensive Transportation Plan that we've been developing for a while now. We will go over the areas that were studied during the Onslow County Comprehensive Transportation Plan, and we will give you a timeline of the work that was completed. We will discuss the multimodal project recommendations, and finally, we will seek adoption from the council on behalf of Surf City. So, why did we do a CTP, which is a Comprehensive Transportation Plan? It is a 30-year vision that a community develops for the state. These are non-fiscally constrained projects, they're vision projects. They include future developments and decisions. Integration with local land use plans and local priorities are presented. And most importantly, these projects are considered in prioritization at NCDOT that funds projects. How is a CTP developed? We first develop a CTP vision, we conduct a needs assessment, we determine the deficiencies, we analyze alternatives, we develop a final plan, and finally we are at the last stage where we are asking the municipalities, the county, and the MPO to adopt the plan. So who was involved during the comprehensive transportation planning process? Representatives were invited to attend monthly for the first 8 months of the development of the plan from Onslow County, the town of Richlands, Swansboro, Holly Ridge, North Topsail Beach, Surf City, Jacksonville MPO, Onslow United Transit System, the base, Division 3 at NCDOT, representatives from the Onslow County School District, representatives from Emergency Services, the Down East RPO, and then, of course, NCDOT Transportation Planning Division. So the timeline of the CTP was originally kicked off in 2016, where we actually came to all of you, some of you may have been here, to present what a CTP is and provide you with growth rates for the county. In 2017, we held public involvement session meetings across the county. And then finally, in 2018, we updated the CTP to reflect current TIP projects, new local vision, and needs of the county. So there are over 200 projects in front of you across all modes, so highway, bicycle, pedestrian, rail, transit. And I'm just going to go over a few of them that are around this area. We have Sneed's Ferry Road, Island Drive, Tar Heel Landing Road that are recommended for modernization. And then something like US 17 is recommended to be upgraded to a super street. And again, it's a lot of projects, like I said, about 200. So it's all in front of you. And then we have bicycle recommendations. So one of them, the example is Morris Landing Road, where we are recommending paved shoulders. Pedestrian recommendations, New River Inlet Road. We're just recommending bicycle sidewalk facilities along that. So what we're asking of you today is to adopt the multimodal maps. Every municipality, incorporated municipality in the county will be adopting. All of this month, we're going to all the municipalities. And then the county will be adopting in November. The Jacksonville MPO plans to adopt between December and January. And the Down East RPO will be adopting in November and December. And hopefully the NCDOT Board of Transportation will be adopting in February. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer any question you have.
We don't need to have time to study this.
Thank you.
I don't think we need to do this right now.
I think we're gonna need time to look at this, and I'd like to make a motion, we postpone any vote on this thing until a later time. We've had time to digest this and get back with you probably at our next meeting.
Okay, that will be fine. Would you like me to come back out, or do you want to send a resolution after adoption?
We can send a resolution after adoption.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we ask that all in attendance please set their cell phones to silent or vibrate mode. The council offers the public an opportunity to speak during the meeting. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes each and must be directly issued and oriented with agenda items for this meeting and or issued upon the council as has control. Citizen speakers will be acknowledged in order in which they sign up to speak and will address all comments to the board as a whole, not one individual council member. Speakers will address the council from the speaker's podium at the front of the room and will begin their remarks by stating their name and address. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Public comment is not intended to require the council to answer any impromptu questions. Speakers will be expected to be civil in their language and presentation. Any comments where the primary purpose is to promote business or candidacy shall not be allowed. In accordance with the council's adopted rules of procedure, council members shall reserve responses, if any, for the council forum on the agenda. Okay? Now we'll go into the adoption of the agenda, and I will let you know, in other words, if you want to make any changes, such as approval of consent agenda, if you want to pull anything off of that, that has to be done at this time before we adopt the agenda. Okay? So if anybody does not, everybody's okay?
Motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
All right, second. All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Adoption of agenda is done. Okay, approval of consent agenda. Items under the consent are generally of routine nature. The board may take action to approve or disapprove all items in a single vote. Any item may be withheld from general action to be discussed, voted upon separately at the discretion of the council. So at this time, I'll request town council to approve the consent agenda if that's their wish.
I make a motion, we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, that was quick. Now we're into the public hearing, and I'll turn it over to our clerk.
Yes, so this is an item for new business. It is a parcel containing 8.1332 acres from Anthony and Pamela Snodgrass. It is located off of Mill Creek Road, adjacent to the Poplar Branch subdivision, and they are seeking voluntary satellite annexation. Asking for a resolution to set the public hearing and to have the clerk investigate the petition.
Could everybody hear? Okay. Do we have anybody that wishes to speak? Anybody wishes to speak on that?
I'm here on behalf of the Snodgrasses, but I don't really have a whole lot to say to them. Any questions?
Yeah.
Looking to next to residential development on this, and also the next piece, the adjacent piece that is next on the list.
I will make a motion. Yes.
Oh, sorry, we had to turn it off.
Point of order, I believe we bypassed, there is no public hearing tonight. Then the next order of business would be public comment, and then manager's report, and then what Stephanie just described under new business.
Oh, yeah, she read it wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we did, didn't we? We jumped a little bit ahead. Okay. Okay. So we need to go to public comment now. Okay, that's why I was calling on you, was for the public comment. Sorry.
We have Mr. Jack Solak of 2408 South Shore Drive. Yes, sir. He's on their planning board.
I was just getting ready with a question, but anyway, after the fire on Sunday, and this morning, I came up with what I thought was a brilliant idea until I talked with the fire department chief. And what I was thinking is that maybe we should, in Surf City, on the island and off the island, require our fire sprinkler system in all new homes. He said that kind of a system would not put out that kind of a fire. He said the only thing that helps is the fires inside the house. If one starts inside the house, a fire sprinkler system would put that fire out. But I still think it's a good idea, so I'm just suggesting that you take a look at it. That's it.
Next, we have Mr. Dale Fixon of 66 East Ridge.
I may be in violation of the public speaking, but all I'm here doing is inviting everyone to Autumn with Topsail on the 19th and 20th of this month. It's a benefit for the Historical Society, which provides the Missiles and More Museum and the Assembly Building. Everyone is invited. It's from 8 o'clock Saturday morning. There will be music Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and there will be wine and beer available both afternoons also. But there's a big food court, lots of crafts, lots of art. It's a great, great weekend. Thank you.
Autumn with Topsail. So,
Okay, next we have Miss Sandy Monroe of 316 North Shore Drive.
I'm actually here today to say thank you. But first, I wanted to apologize that it's taken me so long to actually come and say thank you. I guess we've missed a few meetings this summer. But I want to thank you all, the council, on behalf of Tom and myself, as well as the company I work for. And I'd like to say thank you to Mayor Medlin, Chief Shanahan, Councilman Shugarts and Fowler, and others for their responsiveness and ultimate resolution to the concerns the residents along North Shore Drive had regarding inappropriate and unruly behavior on the beach. I know there are many more pressing issues to the town of Surf City when you compare it to drunken, disorderly crowds on the beach. But seeing the increased beach patrol, the police presence on a daily basis, in conjunction with the emails that you all sent, the calls you made, and the meetings that you held with the base commanders, has not only made a difference, but there hasn't been a single incident involving base personnel since. It's very satisfying to have your concerns heard and to see swift and effective action taken. The same response was given to concerns expressed on behalf of oceanfront visitors, and our office has not had another complaint since the whole entire summer. So thank you so much to all of you that were involved for working together to find a resolution for the problem.
Next, we have Mr. Phil Durr of 1714 North New River Drive.
Very first thing I want to do is, since we're going down to the last minutes and before the election, I want to thank Ms. Nelva Albury for serving since 1990 on this board and being, 1994? Again, I'm corrected, but still, I'll take it. We've had our differences, and you've always been a gentlewoman, and I've tried to be a gentleman, and I appreciate you for serving, and I appreciate you completely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, let me get to my crux to my problem. The last time I spoke, everybody here at the end said, thank you for coming. Don't placate me. When I come and I have a legitimate problem and I give it to you, I don't want to be placated by saying thank you for coming every single time I come. I have been here since April to ask you to give you what you're supposed to do. 1964 has the Disabilities Act for handicapped access to our beach. We do not have it under Title 3 and 5. I would ask the lawyer to make sure that I'm proper in my effects and my count. And if you don't do it, I promise you as a citizen, I will personally write the government. You have had long enough. The toilets, the Johnny on the spots are still there. The toilet, there's no reason that plumbing isn't fixed. You've got little kids over there playing. They fall. They want to wash up. I've seen people burying diapers on the beach because there's no receptacles. I've told you about it. And the last time I left, I was being shouted at as I left. Fine. I've been a teacher for 42 years. I get shouted at all the time. Everybody's kid is going to Yale. I got it. But the deal is, what you need to understand is, you don't grade your report card. We do. And if we have something to say to you, please don't dismiss it. Okay? That's all I'm asking. And when I ask you for something, it's not because I'm trying to be difficult. I retired and I thought I would start to give service to my community by at least showing up to the meetings. I can't serve here. I hear my time is up, so I'm going to go. But that doesn't mean this dilemma is up. And if you have the proper focus, I know you can get through CAMA because I've called them myself, and they said as long as there's no significant changes, they're fine with it. So please don't lie to me again. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Andy Phil of 17 West Ridge.
Good evening, Andy Plyle, 17 West Ridge, and I want to echo the mayor's comments on thanking our first responders this weekend. I happen to live just a couple of blocks away, and I saw the devastation firsthand, and it was phenomenal. This should be a wake-up call to the island and to our community in that we lost 7 structures, not 1. And the question is, what is the root cause of this? And I'd like to challenge the council and the mayor and our fire department to organize a task force to help us identify the root cause, develop a mitigation plan, identify the infrastructure changes and resources that we need to implement that so this can't happen again. And I'll be the first to volunteer to be part of that process. I'm an old retired guy, I got plenty of time. I'd be happy to help. I'm not an expert in fire prevention. In the short term, I would also like our fire chief and his staff to demonstrate to the community that we aren't at risk due to an infrastructure problem in terms of water supply. Let's run a test on our hydrants. Show us that we can have confidence that if our house or our neighbor's house should catch on fire, that there will be adequate water there. So, and I'm going to give my time back to the council, and I hope we can act on this and move forward. And as I said, Mayor, you know me, I can be a little tenacious, and I will help. Thanks.
Next, I have a Mr. James Campbell of 308 South Topsail Drive.
James Campbell, 308 South Topsail Drive, Surf City. Attorney Dees, I have a question about the offenses against Mr. Shugart. that were done on Monday. Can you give us any information about that?
Mr. Mayor, it's not, public comments is not time for an exchange like that. I would defer any questions of that nature to the district attorney's office.
You're the only one who can answer anything like that.
That's not a town matter.
Right.
You can call the district attorney's office and ask them those type of questions, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You understand that it's not, I mean, the town can't answer anything.
I was asking the attorney, didn't know if he was probably there or not.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't know.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay.
No, we're done. Yep, manager's report.
Okay. All righty. Now, okay, has our manager got a report? I'm sure she has.
I do. Just a few updates. Last week we met with Chris Gibson, the beach engineer, to review our permit application on our private nourishment project. There were a few issues with some of the borrow sites in the channel. And so Chris came up with the idea to take our project and split it into two separate permits. He believes that this will help the permitting application process go a lot faster, which means that we can actually get sand out there on that beach a lot quicker. And also a part of that was for us to piggyback off of Topsail Beach's dredge contract. They opened bids for their contractor last week also, and we should be able to piggyback off of that same contract. So they are to start work December 15th, and the thought process is that they will move through Topsail Beach up to the town line and then continue once they get into Surf City, and they anticipate being at the town line around March of 2020. We also met with NCDOT last week to finalize the landscaping plans for Roland Avenue. This project is pretty much ready to move forward. However, NCDOT has put the funding on hold, I'm assuming due to some budget constraints. From what I understand, they've had to put a lot of their projects on hold. We've also submitted some paperwork to the state in relation to monies that were allocated within Senate Bill 95. This was $5 million that was to go to Topsail Island. So this will be split three ways. So the town of Surf City will receive $1.6 million approximately. And this money will actually go towards our private beach nourishment project, along with our shallow draft inlet funding that we will be receiving. In relation to that also, there's an application that I'm working on for funding through the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation Emergency Coastal Resilience Fund. This money will also go towards our private beach nourishment project. Just a couple other small updates. Parks and Rec has their Fall Fest coming up October 26th here at Soundside Park from 4 to 6:30. Food vendors, inflatables, games, lots of family fun, concerts. They also have a street sweep that will be taking place at Soundside Park on November 9th at 9 o'clock a.m. They're also working in relation to Soundside Park on the playground equipment there. That equipment has been in disarray for quite some time. So we were able to obtain some grant dollars and sponsorship dollars to purchase some new equipment to be going out there. So keep your eyes open for that. It's actually kind of exciting, the equipment that's going to be going out there, hopefully sometime between now and November. Also, to finish up work out at Nelva Albury Park, we've ordered the shelter that will complete that project, and we receive funding from the Golden Leaf Foundation for that grant. And that's pretty much all I have.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, now we'll move into new business. We have a resolution of directing the clerk to investigate a petition for satellite volunteer annexation and set public hearing. This is Snodgrass. It's 8.1332 plus or minus acres on Mill Creek Road, Pender County PIN number. It is requested that the Town Council adopt a resolution directing clerk to investigate the petition for continuous annexation, adopt resolution setting public hearing for November the 6th at 6:30, and send the property to the Planning Board for zoning recommendation. And we do have, if you've got any questions, we do have somebody here to represent the Snodgrasses. Yes, right ahead.
Is this for, you're going to be building like a small development? Is that what it is? How many homes are you going to be putting in there?
Approximately 67.
67 homes?
Over a couple of phases.
Okay. What's this? Can you come to the microphone if you don't mind?
Wait a minute. Now, you're talking about two different...
This is only for annexation, not for site plan requirements.
Got it. Okay.
Right,
Good.
and it's only for annexation, but now the
Well, I'm
first
wondering-
annexation is on the small piece.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly how many homes go on that small piece, but over the adjacent parcel has 17.8 acres, and so the total of those two combined is approximately 67 LS.
Okay, well, we'll get to that one in a minute. Okay. All right, so what I've got now is a request for the Town Council to adopt resolution directing our clerk to investigate the petition for continuous annexation and adopt resolution setting public hearing for November the 6th at 6:30 and send the property to the Planning Board for zoning recommendation. And this is on the first piece of property, which is 4236-54-2793-0000, 8.1332 acres.
Approve that.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed, same sign. Okay. You got that? Okay. All right. The second one is a resolution directing clerk to investigate a petition for satellite volunteer annexation and set public hearing rider, and it's for 17.68 plus or minus acres on Mill Creek Road. Pender County PIN number 4236-54666-0000. Specific action requested is to request the Town Council to adopt the resolution directing the clerk to investigate the petition for continuous annexation, adopt the resolution setting public hearing for November the 6th at 6:30 p.m., and send the property to the Planning Board for zoning and recommendation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this does not mean that we have actually passed or adopted anything with the property. It's just so that it can be investigated, make sure they own the property, make sure that's the right amount. Now, am I right? I'll let you explain that.
That's the next statutory step.
Right, that's later on. But
to consider the annexation.
Right.
There will be a public hearing. In fact, the prior resolution set one. This one will as well.
Right. So they can object then, right?
Yes, sir. That's the purpose, to hear from the public.
Right.
At the public hearing, yes, sir.
Right, that's what the public hearing is for. And that's what we're setting the date for the public hearing for. Okay.
I make a motion.
Have a motion. Motion to approve. Second.
Second.
All right, we got 2 seconds, so that ought to be good enough. All right, all in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Same sign. Okay. Did you see that? All right. Okie doke. All right, now we are ready for the council forum. And let's see. Did I start with Don last time, I believe, didn't I? Okay, I'm going to start with you this time,
Okay.
Ms. Teresa Bass.
Start with me. Thank you for coming. Thank you to all the first responders, fire department, police department, our council, Mayor Medlin, that showed up to do a hot job. Thankful that no one got hurt. Thankful that everyone could return to their families and return home safe. We also thank the utility department
but not beforehand, but afterhand the next day they went back out and did an amazing job helping the fire department with the burn site as well. Just wanted to piggyback on Ashley. She's done a really good job with the shoreline beach nourishment, staying on top of trying to get us our funds. The project that she talked about that was Topsail Beach was done in December. That is finally Matthew FEMA money that they're getting. So it's not like, that something has happened suddenly and they're able to do it. They have been waiting for years for that funding. So our funding is moving kind of quickly with the Shallow Draft Inlet Fund and with the S95 Senate bill that may come about. So she's done a really good job on staying on top of our beach nourishment. A couple other dates that are coming up. Flu season's coming up. We have a flu clinic next Tuesday here at the Welcome Center from 1 to 4. Along with the Autumn of Topsail. It's always a good time. Would like to make sure everyone comes out to support our community and the Fall Festival that's coming up. So thank you for being here tonight.
That it? Good job. Okay, Mr. Buddy Fowler.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. As Ms. Pat said, we have a lot of things going on, and I certainly hope you all partake of them. We're very proud of our town fire department, public works, and all the ones, first responders that responded to a catastrophe down on Atkinson Road. It's unfortunate that those things do exist and happen, but I think they did a marvelous job in containing it where it did not spread and go further than what it did. Also, I'd like to thank Ashley and Parks and Rec for the grants that they secured to help bring in new equipment to the Soundside Park, and for their Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, who's worked very hard with them in doing that and keeping our parks operational where they're safety-wise. And we have a lot of things that's going on, and we have endured a lot over the last 14 months. We're not through enduring all of that, but together we can all get through it. And I encourage you and ask you to continue that and stay together, work together for the betterment of Surf City so we can come back and be as strong as ever and better than ever. And I thank you.
Okay, Miss Nelva R. Albury.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just delighted seeing every one of you here tonight. I'm glad to see different ones of you taking interest in wanting to help with things that committees the town's got. And I especially want to thank the mayor and Don. They were down there helping fight the fire the other night. I thought that was real nice of them. And I'm sure more of you would have been there if you could known you could help. But I do want to thank them all, and I want to thank Ashley for the grants and stuff that she's helped accumulate for these parks and other things, and working on the beach renourishment. Maybe one day we'll get it together if another storm don't come right behind us and knock our feet out. That's what's happened. We've had so many storms, and now these fires. Folks, we all need to be thankful every day you walk. Give the Lord the praises for what you got. Thank you, and God bless every one of you.
That it?
That's it.
You short tonight, huh? Okay. All right. All right. Mr. Jeremy Shugarts.
Hard to follow Nelva for sure, no doubt. There's no doubt. Well, several things tonight. Obviously, was moving with the fire department and what they've done for us. I know I spoke with Dwight a little bit earlier about what they're doing as far as raising money for those families, and I think it's super admirable. I watched the mayor get emotional about it, and I think all of us feel that way, no doubt about it. We all want the best for that. Several things want to kind of lighten up a little bit. Jeep Week was last week, And my wife, well, actually, Councilman Jerry Hyde from North Topsail and Mike Hill talked to my wife into taking a little green Jeep. And it did get stuck, for the record, and they had to haul us out of the sand. Quite embarrassing. But after I found out there was about 15 other Jeeps got stuck on the way out, so I don't feel near as bad. And my wife's never going to do it again. Anyway, okay, so the chamber is and I would just say it was great for Surf City to watch those 150 Jeeps go over the bridge. And I never seen people get more upset than waiting on those Jeeps to go by. We were told that we were number one several times. And yeah, for sure, because they had to wait so long on the traffic. It was great. The police escort, it was a fantastic event, just fantastic. The chamber is working on a flotilla this December, which is really cool. We're a beach community. We've got boats, so I think I'm just going to rent a boat and decorate it up for the heck of it. So I think that's coming. I'm pretty excited about that. And the Rotary Clubs has a pumpkin patch they're doing as a fundraiser. We started a Rotary Club. There's several of us. I know the mayor and myself are involved in that. Dave Gilbreth, there's several of us involved in that at Rotary. And that starts 10/12 through 10/31. You can get yourself a Primo pumpkin for your kids. I think they're going to do some hayride stuff there, and they're going to do some stuff where they entertain the kids. That's going to be up. Is that right, Dave? Where's that next to? Jim, does anybody know? Dwight, anybody know where that is? Okay, grassy area behind the Salty Turtle. Okay, so the grassy knoll behind the Salty Turtle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, grassy area there. Grassy area. I'm sorry. Okay, and then I want to just comment about Mr. Durr. I agree that you are the community. All of you are grading our report cards as council. That's what your job is to do. And we appreciate all of you doing that. We may not like all the comments, but that's your job to grade us. And that's when we take this job, that's what we have to accept. So I just want to say thank you for that. And that's it for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're sure welcome. All righty. Our highway patrolman now.
Retired.
Mr. Donald, well, excuse me, you're a fireman now, though, aren't you? You got converted from highway patrol to fireman. He is a fire captain, and he worked hard at the fire the other night, working that ladder truck. So, and they did work that ladder truck hard. I tell you what, it did serve a good purpose. Appreciate that.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to also personally thank the fire department for what they did, the utility department and the police department. The answer to the gentleman's question, said something about the water. We never run out of water. I was running the main pump for the fire department, and we never come close to running out of water because of the utility department turned on the pumps. There was no running out of water. We ran approximately 350 to 400,000 gallons of water went through that pump that I was operating. The ladder truck it's got the largest pump of any piece of equipment we got. It's got a 2,000 GPM pump. So just to settle that, we never run out of water. The town didn't run out of water. We had to turn the pumps on. The utility department done that. But everything, when we arrived on scene, there was nothing we could do for the simple reason we couldn't drive a truck through that fire. It was all the way across the road, and the wetlands was on fire, and the fire department did a tremendous job. I also want to thank Ashley and the Parks and Rec also for getting those grants for the park, because it's well needed, and with the amount of kids we got here, that new park equipment's going to be nice. And I hope everybody will have a good weekend. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Jack Solak, I'll bring your idea up. I'm not sure how far to get, because I'm not sure what the cost of doing a sprinkler system in homes would be or not. I know it's fairly expensive, but we will bring it up. Mr. Dale, appreciate, where'd you go? I know he's here. There he is, back in the back. I'm sure everybody's going to try to rush down there, and especially on Saturday and Sunday morning, because there is the most delicious pancakes being served at the Autumn of Topsail. We got some fantastic people cooking them, and we got some nice-looking people serving them. Isn't that right, buddy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you see us, wave to us when we hand you your pancakes. But anyway, and Teresa's there too. All the Kiwanis is there, and we're working hard. We got a woman back there in the back that has gained a whip for the Kiwanis. She's not paying attention. Get off your phone a minute. But anyway, I said we got somebody new with the Kiwanis, and they got a whip, so we got to do everything right. So anyway, but the Autumn of Topsail is wonderful, and the Kiwanis does have a pancake breakfast Saturday and Sunday morning. That helps us raise money, and this does a lot of stuff like we do for the kids. So we appreciate you coming for that, as well as all the other things, the beer tent and we've got a lot of local people that are making items that will be sold down there as well. I've seen some of them, and there's some nice work going on. So Autumn of Topsail. Missy, appreciate it. And like you say, I think I know the chief got up with the commander at the base, and then Jeremy got up with some of them. But I'll tell you what, honestly, those young men and young women turned around, and I'll tell you what, I believe we've had the cleanest beach this year as we've had in years. Now, I was laying in the dentist office this morning, which is not a fun job, but at least you get to watch the beaches, because they have cameras that go to Topsail and Surf City and Wrightsville Beach. Honestly, our beaches down here were pristine. I mean, they were right clean. When it went to the Wrightsville Beach, if you don't believe me, just go and look at those cameras. And Wrightsville Beach looks nothing like our beach. I'm not knocking them, but they just look like they could use a lot of cleaning up and down their beach. So, yeah, appreciate that, but I think it helped the trash as well as the drinking and all that stuff too. So I think they really did a great job. Education, I think, was what it really took. Let's see. Mr. Durr, you still got a problem with your handicap access? We have too, and you just need to talk to Chad about that. But part of our problem with the handicap access, somebody else wrote me a letter about that also. Of course, the only solid public handicap access we have is at the center of town up here at that one, and the reason is because it was still there after the hurricane, and because it's set back up so far. As far as the other ones at the other places, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we were able to put those back at all. In other words, Camel wouldn't let us put the handicap park back on the beach. Now, after our beach nourishment, hopefully, I know that David knows more than I do, so he'll inform you on the email, I think, after this meeting. But anyway, once we have our beach nourishment, then we will be able to put some of those handicap ramps back. But we can't do it.
Can I make a comment on that, sir?
Yes, sir.
In reference to Mr. Durr, I intend to get a hold of Jason Dale in camera, because that's misinformation. Either what I've been told or the council's been told and so many others have been told is not exactly correct. So in order to clarify that, I intend to have Mr. Merritt, Mr. Durr, and Mr. Jason Dale from camera. We'll meet and we'll all know what's on the same page. And when that's over and done with, we'll report back at our next meeting on that.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay, anyway, all right, let me go ahead with my stuff. Andy, report to you. Where's Andy? There he is. The fire hydrant is back up and working. Yes, sir. Okay. We did have a fire hydrant that got run over, and hit a stop sign and a fire hydrant at the same time. I don't know what he looked like when he got through hitting it, but anyway, he did. So they informed me today that they did get that back up and working. And like I say, as Don said, they did a fabulous job of keeping water to the firemen. Also, she was talking about the new beach nourishment. He noted that we got notified today that the dredging company is bringing in 2 dredges, right? And so by using 2 dredges, that means that they'll be able to get the project finished a lot quicker than what they were hoping to get it finished. So get our beach nourishment. We're also going to be hauling sand at the same time. Now, because of nourishment on one end, we may be hauling more sand on the other end. But anyway, we're going to try to get the whole beach covered this coming year. And then hopefully the next year will be the core project coming in. Just had a talk. We met with our new congressman for Onslow Jones and up in there today. And I talked with him about pushing Office of Budget and Management, where is the only hold up to our federal project at this time. So hopefully we'll get enough people pushing them. And they hadn't turned it down; they just hadn't got to it yet. So hopefully we'll get news there. And then I understand we may have a new ship coming into Surf City, right? Huh? A new ship. At the park.
It's quite large.
We're going to get a ship for the other park too. So I love that ship up there that they put in Nelva's park. So that looks great. But anyway, once again, I'd just like to say each and every one of you, thank you for coming. I know that we've had a hard week this week. And I mean, everywhere I went today, in Jacksonville, everybody that I saw, they said, you know, they gave us the condolences for the fire that we had this weekend. So, I mean, everybody knows about it, but they know about how well we did it. Also, once again, I don't know whether it was explained or not, but we did lose 7 homes. If they'd have been able to get crossed there, but there was no way, because I was down there before any of them got there, and the flames was already coming across the road. So they couldn't get on the other side of the fire to fight it back this way. So that's the reason that we lost as number of homes we did, right?
That is one contributing factor, yes.
Yes. And then the other was the wind. And what else? I like to get the information out that we can. That's right. That's what we want.
All right. So, yeah, we had several contributing factors that led to the outcome. The biggest would be a wind-driven fire and the fact that the road was blocked by the fire. So that is the largest contributing factor we had. You also have to understand that we don't know what the delay was in notification, but it's very rare to get a dispatch for multiple homes at the start. When we got the call from our dispatch center, there was already 2 houses burning. That is very unusual. So don't know what the disconnect there was. We're still working with some of the callers to figure out if there was a delay. We're not real sure, but for 2 houses to be burning before we even got a call, it was already a large fire. Before we could get there, our first arriving unit on the island got there in about 4 minutes. I think we looked at it today. It was right at 4 minutes, which is right at the national average for a first responding fire unit to get to a scene. So there, at that point in time, there was at least 3 houses burning. So, and we don't know, there could have been more, but we couldn't see on the other side of the fire. So, you know, from a contributing factor standpoint, we had a limited access. We could only get to one side of it. But we also had a very large fire on the outset. So it started big, and it is hard to overcome the BTUs of the fire with water in order to cool it. So not being able to get to the other side definitely led to the progression of the fire, but understanding that it started out as a very large fire. So a delayed notification, limited access, those are all factors that led to that incident getting bigger and bigger.
Say, to show how well they can fight was they were able to save, I know it had a little bit of damage, but the house on the east side from catching on fire,
Correct.
Even as big as the fire was right next to it.
Right. And you can see that is where that wind-driven fire really progresses and pushes the fire that one to the one side, because
Right.
the house right beside the original fire structure, sure, we lost it as well, but we were able to stop it from progressing that
Further
way.
down.
And for one, we were on that side of the fire as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you'd have been
Yes.
on the other side, you might could have saved some of those. But,
Correct.
But you just couldn't get there.
Right.
All right. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. To let you know, the bathrooms at the Nelva or Albury Park are open and have been open for a couple of weeks. If somebody, a couple of months, excuse me, yeah. That's right, I knew they were. Now the back, there was still a little bit of damage to the back of the building, but the bathrooms are up and working fine. If you hadn't been down there, since early in the summer or something or another. So those bathrooms are open and available. Anybody else got anything else? Except now our attorney. What is he going to say?
I'm going to say I'm going to try to learn how to use this microphone better before next month. Mayor, on September 18th, Governor Cooper signed Senate Bill 429 into law. It's the disaster recovery bill. As I understand it, it earmarks $22,675,000 to DEQ. Of that, $11,500,000 is to go to local units of government for grants up to $2.5 million. I have not seen what that criteria is yet. Fortunately, we didn't get damaged as bad by this hurricane as we did Florence, but it appears there may be some money out there for coastal towns. Secondly, as the council knows, I spoke with Miss Dorothy Steenbeiser, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's with the U.S. Corps of Engineers at Savannah, their real estate acquisition branch. She sent us the form language the Corps requires for our easements. If you're going to do any federal funded project, they have certain language they require. I'm glad we've got that now. That way we won't have to go back and get it a second time. So hopefully, to the extent we need additional easements, we'll be able to do that in one version. Lastly, I echo, and I want to thank the first responders for their courage and bravery. I had the good fortune of trying a case for the town of Beaufort about 15 years ago over a firefight, and I spent a lot of time in the Morehead City and Beaufort Firehouse and police departments. And you talked about all the equipment they have to wear, how heavy it is, but imagine profusely sweating, zero field of vision, things falling around all around you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. So I think we should give them another round of applause, actually.
Okay. Anybody?
I do not believe we added a closed session, but we need to.
Yeah, we do. Okay. Have a closed session. All right. Anybody else? Chief, you got anything you want to add?
No, thank you.
No, thank you, huh? Okay. All right. All righty. Well, once again, I appreciate each and every one of you coming, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Buddy Fowler at this time.
Mr. Mayor, we need to have a closed session according to General Statutes 143-318.11A3, attorney-client privilege. Make
Okay.
a motion, we go into it.
All righty. Thank you, folks. We go into closed session at this time. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming tonight. And if you want to hang around and find out what went on, we'll be back in session when we get through with the closed session. So you can come back in at that time.